أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So we stopped previously at the story of creation of the first man, Adam alayhi salam, and we spoke about how he has been expelled from paradise, from heaven, and how he has been inspired by Allah, and through these words he has sought forgiveness. So now we reach the next ayah. قُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا مِنْهَا جَمِيعًا. We said go down from it, all of you. فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى. So when comes to you from me guidance, فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ. So the one who follows my guidance, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. There is no fear over them. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. And they should not or will not be sad. We said go down from it, all of you. Now this may be referring to the descendants of Adam alayhi salam and his wife Eve, Hawa, and that mankind have all been expelled from heaven, from Jannah, and now they must stay on earth. And we see this confirmed in an earlier ayah, وَلَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُسْتَقَرٌّ وَمَتَاعٌ إِلَى حِينٍ. And for you on the earth there is a dwelling place and provisions until a certain point. فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى. So when comes to you from me guidance. So this indicates that there will come guidance from Allah, and this guidance is to be adhered to and followed if one would like to change that current situation. فَمَنْ تَبَعَ هُدَايَ. And it's alluded to in the next part of the ayah. فَمَنْ تَبَعَ هُدَايَ. So the one who follows my guidance, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. There is no fear over them. There is no fear in where you're going to go. There is no fear in the fact that your deeds are being accounted for and they are not going to waste. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. They should not be sad. It is only a temporary time that we are on this earth, and inshallah every human who does good and lives by Allah's ways will live in Jannah. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. And those who disbelieved. وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. And they denied our signs. So first disbelief is mentioned and then denying. So a person can disbelieve, and that is to do with faith. Denying, however, comes from seeing something that is very evident and then turning away from it because some part of you may know the truth, however you would like to continue living in this world that you have created for yourself, with beliefs that you have created for yourselves that may not align with the reality. أُولَئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ. So now we see that they are the companions of the fire. هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. They will abide therein forever. They will be eternalized within it. We are all descendants of Adam alayhi salam. We are all descendants of Adam. So all of us have this connection to the first person who lived in heaven. It was the original dwelling place of mankind. And then through this mistake, we see that mankind has slipped from heaven, and then we are told that guidance will come to the descendants of Adam. فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى. So this is as a plural. So we have an assurance that guidance will come, and we have an assurance there is no fear over, or one should not be sad when this guidance comes, as it is a way back to heaven, or it is a way to be with our Lord, inshallah. However, everyone goes somewhere for eternity. As a human being, we are born, we live in this first life, the trial of the dunya, the life of the dunya, and then we return to wherever it is we're going to go. We are held accountable first for what we did in this world. We saw signs, we had faith, we did not have faith, we turned away. What we do here is what determines where we will go after. And every person who enters Jannah or paradise will only enter through the mercy of Allah, rahmatullah. There is a difference between returning to Allah empty-handed and saying, Ya Allah, I rely on your mercy. You gave me signs, you gave me a sabil, you gave me a way, you gave me opportunities. You sent the book, you sent the prophets. I turned away from all of these. My heart felt that this was correct. However, I wanted to live in a world that through possibly my own arrogance, I felt was the correct way. And then the person is empty-handed. And then they ask Allah for His mercy. However, it's different to if a person is doing what Allah has ordered. They are praying, they are reading the Quran, they are at least trying to live within the bounds of Allah, at least acknowledging there is a creator, at least acknowledging that He is merciful, and then returning to Allah and asking for His mercy. يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوف بعهدكم. O children of Israel, mention the blessing that I have blessed upon you, and fulfill my covenant, I will fulfill your covenant. So here the children of Israel are addressed, and they are told to mention the blessing that Allah has blessed over them, i.e. their receiving of the revelations, their receiving of clear signs, their receiving of prophets, and to also fulfill the covenant, and Allah will fulfill His covenant. Now a covenant and any relationship with Allah is two ways. So a person is asked to do particular things and Allah promises the eternal hereafter. Also Allah promises to be with them throughout this and to send guidance and help. وَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ, and only me you stand in awe of, or only me that you fear. Farhabun comes from rahaba, and that's the root word, and it means to fear or have reverence for, and usually it's attributed to divinity, so with respect to Allah. وآمنوا بما أنزلت مصدقا لما معكم ولا تكونوا أول كافر به, and believe in what I have brought down, confirming what is with you, what you have. ولا تكونوا أول كافر به, and do not be the first to disbelieve in it. So here the children of Israel are addressed again, and further information is given. They are told to believe in what has been brought down, confirming what they have. So they have books, they have been sent prophets, they have information, more so than the rest of mankind. So they should be the first people to recognize that this book is the truth, that Muhammad ﷺ is preaching the truth, and that Islam is the true way of Allah, the sabil of Allah. وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ, do not be the first to deny it, as they are the first people who have the opportunity to see that this is the truth. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا, and do not purchase or trade Allah's signs for a low or cheap price. So you see that Allah's signs can, for example, if a person is that way inclined, they may get in power, they may get in a position of authority. However, this is a very cheap price to trade for being a sincere and genuine worshipper of Allah. For me to trade it for these worldly gains, I have lost out on, first and foremost, the love and respect of Allah, and secondly, my eternal hereafter. وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ, and only me be mindful or considerate of. Here, once again, mindful and consideration of Allah is mentioned here. It is mentioned to be explicitly and exclusively for Allah. وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and do not mix the truth with falsehood. وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ, and conceal the truth. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, whilst you have knowledge. So in scriptures that are not preserved, we see that there is a mix of truth and falsehood. However, in this ayah we see وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and to conceal the truth whilst you know. So this means it's not only a mistake that is occurring. There is truth and there is falsehood. However, there is also a element of truth being concealed when it can be made available for the people. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and this shows that they are of knowledge of this, they know this. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَرْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, and establish the prayer and give charity and bow down with those who bow down. So now there is further conditions given or information given, guidance. أَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, establish the prayer. آتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, give charity, help people. وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, and most importantly, arguably most importantly, Wallahu Alam, to bow down with those who bow down. And we see why in this next ayah. أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, do you instruct people to be pious or righteous? وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, and you forget yourselves? وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ, whilst you recite the book. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, will you not then understand? So for a person to recite the book or have authority, it does not mean that they are exempt from following the rules of Allah. It does not mean that they should do one thing and the people that they are instructing or they are teaching, for example, should do another thing. Specifically, when a person is in a position of authority, or they know lots about the deen, or they are in a position to instruct people, they should be setting an example. They should set an example for the people to follow. And we see that this leads on from وَأَرْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, and bow down with those who bow down. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ, and seek help in patience and prayer. And this is a beautiful piece of advice for everyone, subhanAllah. This is instructed to the children of Israel, but in a broader general sense, patience and prayer are the first, and it is a direct connection we have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes patience is the thing that can give a person a better understanding of their situation and put things into perspective for a person as well. This life is only temporary. We are only here for a certain amount of years, and forever is forever. وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ, and indeed it is a great thing. It is detailed that it is a great thing, and sometimes we may pray and feel as though this is difficult, as though this is a tiring thing, وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ, and indeed it is a great thing, except إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ, except over those who are humble. And in the next ayah is detailed, الَّذِينَ يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُلَاقُو رَبِّهِمْ, those who believe that they are going to meet their Lord. When a person puts into perspective where they are going, where they'd like to go, then prayer doesn't become a great thing. It becomes something that is easy. Allah makes it easier for the person, as the person has put into perspective what it is that they want to do and where they want to go. And as we have spoken about before, أوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم, fulfill my covenant, I'll fulfill your covenant. Any relationship with Allah is a two-way street, and if a person tries, Allah will help them. And there is a hadith Qudsi that says, if a person takes a step towards Allah, Allah will come closer to him a cubit, an arm's length I think it is. If a person comes walking towards Allah, Allah will come to him running. Ya Bani Israel, once again the children of Israel have been addressed directly by name. اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم, mention the blessing that I have blessed over you. Once again the same words used. وأني فضلتكم على العالمين. This time they are reminded that they have been favored over all of mankind. واتقوا يوما لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا ولا يقبل منها شفاعة ولا يؤخذ منها عدل ولا هم ينصرون. And be mindful of or considerate of a day. لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا. No soul will benefit from another soul with anything. ولا يقبل منها شفاعة, and no intercession will be accepted from it. ولا يؤخذ منها عدل, and no bargaining will be taken from it. ولا هم ينصرون, and they will not be saved or guarded. The children of Israel have been addressed again. However, this time they are reminded of the fact that they have been favored over mankind, and now they are told to be mindful or considerate rather than of Allah. They are told to be mindful of a day. A day, لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا. A day no soul can help another soul. No soul will benefit another soul. ولا يقبل منها شفاعة, and no soul can stand up for another soul and speak. ولا يؤخذ منها عدل, and no bargaining will be made. ولا هم ينصرون, and they will not be made victorious. The first ayah that starts like this is يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the children of Israel and he tells them, as he has said in this ayah which we've just mentioned, اذكروا نعمتي, mention my blessing, التي أنعمت عليكم, that I have blessed over you. However, they are told وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم, and fulfill my covenant, I will fulfill your covenant. وإياي فارهبون, and only me you fear or show reverence for. In this ayah they are told to fulfill the covenant of Allah, and Allah will fulfill their covenant, and to fear and respect and revere only Allah. However, we go on to see through these ayahs and through ayahs later on in this surah that they do not fulfill their covenant and they transgress time and time again. And it gets to a point where they are now told not to be mindful or considerate of Allah. After they have been warned, they are told to be mindful or considerate of a day where no soul will help another soul, no man will be of benefit to another man, and no man will be able to stand before Allah and speak and say that I have saved this man. وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ, and there will be no bargaining. وَلَا هُمْ يُنصَرُونَ. So when a person puts their faith in people, in mankind, rather than in Allah, after they have been given many signs, after they have been given much respect by Allah, then this is how the verses come down. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا, rather than وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. Be mindful or considerate of a day, rather than be mindful or considerate of Allah.